Good evening and welcome to your favorite and fearless debate show in the land of Zambia. We are talking about blunt talk. This week we are back on Tuesday, and many thanks to those of you that are joining us on Movie TV, or those that are watching us on Movie TV Decoder, Channel 1. Many thanks to you. Those of you that are joining us on, watching us on Top Star Decoder, yours is Channel 104. And those of you that are watching us on social media, Facebook, yours is Ask Movie. Remember to leave us a comment, or remember to invite a friend, and let a friend invite a friend. This is the Fearless Debate. My name is Kelvin Dabola Chifoko, to be with you for the next 1 hour. Now, today we want to look at an interesting topic, to say, are young people relevant in Zambian topics, in Zambian politics? This is a question. Are young people relevant in Zambian politics? Now, many are the times that we've been told that the youths or young people are the majority, and young people have been ushering in leaders by voting for them. But young people seem not to be ready to take up leadership or to contribute positively to the politics of the land or the nation. Like I've mentioned, I'm expecting to have 3 people to battle it out. From the Patriotic Front, I have Celestine Rocky Mukandila, who is a member of the Patriotic Front. Mukandila, good evening and welcome to Blantyre.
Good evening, Kelvin, and good evening to the viewers out there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. From the Democratic Party, we have Lazarous Simukoko, who is now the Lusaka Province Deputy Youth Chairperson. Lazarous, good evening and welcome to Blantyre.
Good evening, Mr. Kelvin, and evening to the viewers.
Celestine, the rules of the game, as well as Lazarus, are very simple. You'll be given 3 minutes to respond or to answer to a question that I'm going to pose to you. If at all you want to react to something that Lazarus will say, or what the gentleman from the UPND will say, when I ask you a question, you can start by responding to what your colleagues will say, or you can respond at the end, but within 3 minutes. And also, how should I address you on the program? Should I call you Celestine? Should I call you Rocky? Or should I call you Mukandila?
Mukandila is much appreciated.
Thank you so much. Lazarus, you're not new to the program. The rules of the game, how should I call you?
Either.
Huh?
Either name is okay.
Either name, Lazarus or Simukoko.
Yes.
We are also expecting to be joined by Omia Hankanga from the United Party for National Development, who is on his way coming to this place. Gentlemen, let's start the game. I'll start with you, Mukandila. Young people are known to be violent people. Young people are known to be stone throwers. And now young people are known to be panga carriers. Young people are known to be gun carriers. Do you think young people are relevant in Zambian politics? And your 3 minutes starts now.
All right. Thanks very much, Kelvin, for that very important question. To begin with, we need to realize that the political landscape in Zambia is comprised of over 60% of youths, or should I say young people. And by virtue whereof, we need to realize that the voice of a young person in Zambia today is one which is very decisive, one which makes the decision that is utmost in this political sector. And to answer that question, I would say young people in this political landscape in Zambia, or perhaps should I say in politics, are very crucial, especially when it comes to choosing leaders, when it comes to choosing the political landscape in this nation. So, in conclusion, I would say young people are very crucial in the democratic dispensation of this country, as it were.
Thank you so much. You are still within your 3 minutes. Lazarus, like I've mentioned, young people are known to be violent people. Young people are known to be panga carriers, gun carriers. Do you think young people are relevant to Zambian politics?
Absolutely. Young people are very much relevant in Zambian politics. This is because every challenges that the Zambia as a country is facing, it is being faced mainly by the young people. The same young people who are facing these challenges are the same young people who can be able to change the challenges which they are facing. Today, as we are speaking, young people are not considered to be the leaders in the way they are supposed to be. This is because they are only considering them when it comes to attacking people. They are only considering them when it is time for them to start singing songs for these political leaders. But these young people are facing so many challenges, and those challenges can only be understood by the same people who are undergoing them. So if we say young people are not relevant to politics, then we are misleading ourselves, because the challenges which these people are facing, these challenges which the young people are facing in Zambia, the issue of unemployment, the issue of buying these commodities at high prices, it is actually the young people who are facing them. I am among the people who are facing such kind of issues in this country. So if only these people are considered, or if these people are only considered as people who are relevant in the Zambian politics, things will be well. Because one day, if that young person becomes a leader in this nation, it is him or her who is going to be able to understand the challenges which his or her fellow opponents are facing. It is that person who is going to understand what is supposed to be done for such kind of ideas to be implemented, for the young people in this country to have relevancy. Today, as we are speaking, many people are unemployed, more especially the young people. When you talk about the mines themselves, people who are occupying those positions are actually old people. And when we come to Zambian politics, the only way we can make sure that we have inclusiveness of these young people is by making sure that we come up with a retirement age. Let it be at council level, let it be at parliamentary level, and let it be at presidential level. Today, as we are speaking, when you look at civil servants, they are given retirement ages. But when it comes to public servants who are politicians, there is nothing of that kind. But even them are equally servants of the people. They are supposed to be given that retirement age, so that those young people can be able to take up the lead, so that their relevance in politics can be appreciated.
Mukandira, how relevant are young people or youths in Zambian politics? How can we measure their relevance? Through violence? Through, carrying pangas? Through singing songs and intimidating people? How can we describe their relevance in Zambian politics?
Thank you very much, Kelvin. I think I'm happy that my brother has pointed out issues to do with retirement age. He has pointed out issues to do with violence being orchestrated by young persons because they are taken there by the purported old people. But most importantly, I wish to bring to the attention of the nation, as well as my brother here, that the Patriotic Front has had an agenda to ensure that there is inclusiveness, to ensure that the relevance of a young person in the society is felt, to ensure that this young person, because mostly I would say it all begins from Mandahill, from Parliament. We wanted, or should I say we intended, and we always want to ensure that a young person has a seat, which is a safe seat in the House. Unfortunately, the relevance of a young person that we intend to achieve as a Patriotic Front is always shot down by the opposition. Reasons being, we do not really know, but they've got their own reasons. But all I can say is, as a Patriotic Front, we appreciate the relevance of a young person, and that is the reason why our agenda has been very clear to ensure that we have representation even in the National Assembly of young persons. And that is the reason why we ensured that we rallied behind the Constitutional Amendment Bill, number 10, for the sole purpose of ensuring that proportional representation electoral system is adopted and enshrined in the Constitution, and that way we are going to have a young person in Parliament presenting their grievances of young people in Parliament. And it is only a young person who is going to be in Parliament or in positions of authority As exemplified by the Patriotic Front, in many portfolios, we've seen young persons being appointed. Who is going to know the challenges of a young person? It is only a young person given an opportunity to have a safe seat secured in Parliament who is going to say, yes, I have a voice, and the voice I'm carrying is the voice that's going to represent Mr. Lazarous in the House. Unfortunately, we've got opposition political parties in this country who are dream shatterers for the young persons. The dream of a young person to have a secured seat in Parliament has been shattered by the failure of Bill 10, unfortunately. But all I can say is we still have enough plans for young persons. And the ministry is there. They operate an open door policy for each and every young person to approach a ministry and get relevant information and ensure that they add to the relevance of the voice of a young person.
Lazarus, how can we measure the relevance of young people in Zambian politics? Like I've mentioned, young people are known to be violent people. When you hear of violence, you try to look at the people that were at the center of perpetuating violence are young people. How can you measure their relevance of young people in Zambian politics?
Many of the good contributions in Zambian politics have actually been made by young people. But before I come to that, this constitutional bill number 10, which my brother from the PF has mentioned, he has said the Patriotic Front intended to make sure that we have got youth representation in Parliament through Bill 10.
Yes.
But it is the same Bill 10 which was trying to overlap article number 52 of the Zambian Constitution. Apart from that, the PF government never told us, they never informed us, they never explained to us how the young people will be presented in Parliament. What kind of a method Bill 10 will bring in to have women being presented in Parliament? They never said that. But this kind of leadership that we have in this country, if we were informed to say, if Bill 10 goes through, this is how we are going to intend the young people to occupy this kind of positions. Nothing of that kind was mentioned to us. But today, it is the political parties which determine which person should be able to contest in what kind of a constituency, in what kind of a ward. It is the political party. It is the political party which can be able to point me to say, it is you is going to contest in this constituency, it is you is going to contest in this ward. Bill 10 has no impact over the parties' constitutions which we have in our respective political parties. So, when I go back to the issue of the relevance of young people, during the time when we were struggling for independence, during when the Kaundas, the people like Simon Mwansaka, Pwepo were fighting for this, it was the young people that stood up to make sure that we have this independence that we claim that we have. It is the young people who understood the importance of being independent. Even today, young people in the Patriotic Front are not appreciated because a well-known minister once called this youth as disgruntled. How can the same disgruntled youth be able to offer a voice in Parliament? How can the same disgruntled youths be able to be given a seat in a certain constituency or a ward? It is actually impossible because even that SG, even that president is going to say these people were called disgruntled, meaning they are equally useless. For somebody to call you that you are disgruntled, meaning you have nothing to offer, meaning your action is just bringing nuisance to the people who are surrounding you. So if youth were appreciated, it would have been a great deal. But today, in this government, youths are not appreciated. And that is why we are seeing that they are not bringing in any relevancy in politics. But they still have a chance, once again, to come to a place where they are going to be appreciated, to make sure that they are able to get the roles which they are going to be able to play. They can come to Democratic Party. Today, I am the youngest chairperson in the country. If we can look at each and every political party which we have in this country. So if I am able to be appreciated by the leadership of the Democratic Party, Meaning, even if this party comes into power, they are going to make sure that those 8 nominated ministers, those 8 nominated members of parliament, they are going to be youths. But that bulletin had no any influence over which people who can be appointed as appointed ministers or MPs in parliament.
Thank you so much, Lazarus. Mukandida, you've mentioned the issue of Bill number 10 and that the Patriot Front has got a heart for the young people. No wonder you pushed in Bill number 10 because you wanted to have safer seats for young people. Young people could have had safer seats. Are you trying to tell us, or are you trying to tell the nation that as a Patriot Front with a heart for the young people, you were waiting for Bill number 10 to pass because the president has got powers to nominate 8 members of parliament. And if you look at the 8 that the president has nominated, none is a youth.
Well, my brother Kelvin, thank you very much for that question. I wish to educate my brother here, Mr. Lazarus, on a number of issues concerning the Constitutional Amendment Bill. I would want Mr. Lazarus to understand that proportional representation, as was proposed in Bill number 10, is an electoral system that seeks to resolve minority rights and majority rights. Very important to note. A youth would have been presented with an opportunity of having a safe seat in parliament by way of proportional representation. Now, proportional representation may take the form of party list system, where a political party will provide a list. Of course, on the list, we'll have a person who's going to be on top of the list, being the leader of the political party. On the second part of the list, we'll have the second person who may eventually be the running mate. On the third, and as you go down, you put different people of different walks of life. Now, you may have to understand that proportional representation, maybe I need to explain to my brother so that he understands exactly how it works and the opportunity that we've missed out
but
because
don't forget
of that.
that you need to answer my question. The
Yes,
question that I've posed to you.
Exactly.
You're trying to educate Lazarus.
I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. We understand that you're talking about the 8 nominated members of parliament.
Is, were you waiting for Bill number 10 to pass?
No, definitely not.
The president has got powers to nominate
Exactly,
8.
definitely.
And among the 8, I can't see a youth.
Definitely not. I'm going to tell you this. Examples have been shown. We've got most of the youngest people in parliament from the Patriotic Front. And I can assure you that, look at the record is straightforward there. Now, may I proceed into educating my young man here?
Maybe
with
for the sake of record, can you mention 2 young people that are members of parliament from the Patriotic Front who are in the house?
Very well. We've got the Bonamkubwa member of parliament is not very old.
Dr. Jonas Chanda?
Exactly. We've got the Sinda strongman, Kazungula is a youth. Is not old. He's actually a youth. Okay. The records have shown. I mean, you can go down the parliament website and see.
Okay.
And of course, what I can assure you is the Patriotic Front has always had a heart for the youth,
okay,
which is very important. And not only that, if I may proceed with trying to just explain what proportional representation meant. Yes, as I'm winding up. So proportional representation was going to operate in such a manner that, for example, we agree that representation in parliament for youth seats will be 20%, for example. Now, if we're going to have 20%, it means these are going to be secured seats, whether we like it or not. As long as you've got a party list system or a mixed member system, the youths will have secured seats that are 20% representation in parliament, whether you like it or not. Unfortunately, Bill 10 is dead. Our colleagues from the UPND as well as the opposition have managed to shatter the dreams of the youth. So but what we can say is, as usual, the Patriotic Front has got a heart for the youth and will always put the youth in positions of power. There's Eastern Province provincial chairperson, a young man. Copper Belt provincial chairperson, a young man. Southern Province provincial chairperson, a young man. Northwestern Province, a young man.
National chairperson?
National chairperson is a different issue.
Okay.
However,
thank you so much, Mr. Mkandila. 3 minutes up. Omiya Hanganga, thank you so much. Better late than never.
Better late than never, indeed.
Good to have you. Wasanga tulete. So, Mukandila, in his submissions, has mentioned that the Patriot Front has got a heart for young people, and that is why they were pushing for Bill number 10, because they wanted to have safer seats. And it is very sad that the opposition has shut down the dream of young people, dreams of young people of having representation in parliament. You, the opposition, from the UPND and the other opposition political parties, pushed in or abducted your members of parliament so that Bill number 10 fell. And now, young people won't have representation because of your greediness or because of your selfishness. You've shuttered down the dreams of young people.
You see, Fokoro, when you are actually presenting an agenda to the people and you don't actually clearly state what you want to do for the young people, it becomes a challenge. Bill number 10, that the Patriotic Front government was spearheading, had a lot of lacunas, and of which these lacunas the Patriotic Front government didn't want or didn't engage its stakeholders in order for them to be revised or to look at what was not necessary, what was necessary. Because if you look at Bill number 10, I want to get it specifically on the part of the young people. And it spoke about 3 people, different categories of people. It spoke about the issues of young people. It spoke about the issues of the people with disabilities. It spoke about the issues to do with women participation. So if Mukandi says the Bill 10 shattered the dreams of the young people, let's take for instance, we have 10 nominated MPs in Parliament. How many of these 10 nominated MPs?
Is it 10 or 8?
8. Is it 10 or 8? Somewhere. 8. Out of the 8 MPs that are nominated, how many of these 8 are disabled? None. Out of the 8 that are nominated, how many of these are young people? None. It clearly shows you that the Patriotic Front government is not a serious government. And when we talk about the issues to do with Bill 10 and why the United Party for National Development shattered that, is because we looked at the people and what the Bill 10 wanted to do. I don't want to talk much about what the Bill 10 wanted to spearhead, but we are looking at it in a context of the young people. What is it they are in government? Why should the bill be the one to represent the young people in Parliament? Why should the bill be the ones to create employment for young people out there? No. You see, this is where, when you are actually failing in your duties, when you are failing in the governance issues, like the Patriotic Front government are actually doing now, they have failed to govern this country. They are crying for Bill 10 because they know very well that the agenda of the Bill 10 was not about the young people. It was not about the people with disabilities. It was not about the women. How many women does the Patriotic Front government have in Parliament today? When we talk about the 50-50 representation of women in Parliament, why didn't they consider that during the 2016 election? Why should the bill be the one to represent women?
Thank you so much. We have to make progress. Let me come to you, Lazarus. What is it that made Bill number 10 to fail? Now we've been told by Mkandila that young people have been robbed, or young people have been denied a dream. They have been dreaming to go to Mandai, but because of the failure to pass Bill number 10, the dream has been shattered. In your perspective, or as DP, what do you think made Bill number 10 to fail?
It's lack of vision by the Patriotic Front. It is lack of vision by the Patriotic Front.
When they actually provided the vision of including young people, women, and
they didn't, because you don't need a bill for you to have a youth in Parliament. That you have to make that clear. And these people, I've said earlier that they didn't tell us how these people are going to be presented in Parliament. If they did, we would have understood them. They only said that you include this, it will do that. But they never mentioned how that inclusiveness will come about. So this bill failed because they lack vision. Their main aim was only to overlap Article number 52, subsection 4, where if a president files in nominations, he can be challenged if that person is disqualified. As we stand today, Mr. Lungu is not supposed to contest on the ballot in 2021 as president. As we stand today, the Patriotic Front spent almost 2 years debating the bill which has failed to pass through. Yet we have got a debt in this country. Yet they have failed to pay this debt which is going on. Even the budget which was released by their finance minister, you can see just lack of vision, They are about to spend about 47 billion kwacha on debt servicing. Yet to finance this debt, they're supposed to borrow an extra what? About 49 billion kwacha. Meaning they are only borrowing to pay debt. Today as we speak, the PF government have failed to do that. Even this bill which my brother is talking about here, we don't need a bill for us to have young people in parliament.
Thank you. Thank you, Azza. Mukandi, according to you, what do you think made bill number 10 to fail? Now we are looking at what you just brought up, say young people are supposed to have safer seats. And
exactly.
What do you think made bill number 10 to fail?
Exactly. What made bill number 10 to fall or to fail is the ignorance of numbers. It is unconstitutional behavior by the opposition. It is lack of integrity.
It was unconstitutional.
I'll get to that, by the way. It is lack of integrity by members of parliament from the opposition. It is lack of parliamentary etiquette by members of parliament. Now, why do I say it is unconstitutional? The Constitution of the Republic of Zambia, Act number 2 of 2016, has provided that a member of parliament shall be elected by the people. And it has provided that the legislature shall have members of parliament who are going to be in the forefront to enact laws. The duty of a member of parliament is to enact legislation. The duty of a member of parliament is to sit in the house and debate bills, debate motions brought to the floor of the house. It's as simple as that. And these are people that are sent by their communities, by their constituencies, to go and debate. What do you do instead? You decide to behave in a manner which is unparliamentary. You abscond the house, the debates of the house. That simply means a person lacks integrity. Now, let me just respond to my brother here with regards to the issue of perhaps my brother may not really have enough data, because I mean he doesn't even know that the nominated members of parliament are supposed to be 8. Now the constitution is very clear with regards to nominations and all those things. A nominated member of parliament is appointed at the discretion of the president. Now, mostly this provision is meant to ensure that in positions where you need a technocrat to ensure that they occupy a position, the president will have a discretion to ensure that a person like Dr. Bwalyangandu, a technocrat from the Bank of Zambia, very qualified to manage the Ministry of Finance, is pushed and given that position. That is the plus. Now, may I remind my brothers that in as much as we debate in politics, let's remember that Zambia should always come first. And the truth should be there to ensure that the people know the truth. Now, where a person in broad daylight, for example, my brother has brought in another issue yet, showing the nation that ignorance is still flowing amongst many opposition political parties. There is a case of Danny Pule and others.
Yeah, we'll be talking to eligibility. We'll be talking
anyway,
about eligibility.
so let me just proceed. And your 3
minutes is up.
Exactly.
All right, thank you very much. But anyway, I needed to make a point, but we can...
You can make a point. You can make a point.
All right, so with regards to issues to do with the Constitution and ensuring that we've got the youths there, my brother should be aware that Article 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia has made this Republican Constitution a supreme law of the land. And therefore, any other law which is going to be inconsistent, the Constitution, is going to be declared now and void to the extent of its inconsistency. Simply put, amend the Constitution, ensure that you have safe seats for young persons in Parliament. Any other law that's going to be inconsistent. If a political party would decide to say we're going to maintain Honorable Mazabuka Member of Parliament, for the next 20 years. And yet we've got a young man. And the threshold provides that a young man should be there. Awe, nikuya bebe. Someone should change.
Thank you so much. Gentlemen, I want us to move away from Bill number 10.
No, but I still want to comment something.
Yes, you can comment on something on
You
Bill number 10
see,
as we are moving on.
the Bible tells us that the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy.
John 10:10.
John 10:10. And this is exact what the patriotic government is currently doing to the Zambians today. Why have I used John 10:10 that the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy? Is because if you look at what is currently happening under Bill number 10, it had a lot of hidden agendas, of which a lot of money was used in order to sell the Bill number 10 to the public, of which that money won't be recovered.
Are we able to point out the hidden agendas so that we respond? Very important. The Zambian people need to know.
I will mention three things that the Bill number 10 had hidden. The first one was the removal of all retirees, those that have retired, without them retiring without a pension. That was number one. Number two was the issue of them having autonomous power. The president having autonomous power in order for him, he was going to be the executive, the legislature, and everything for Zambia. That is number two. Number three, our chiefs were used blindly without actually knowing that this Bill number 10 was robbing power from the chiefs, meaning that the chiefdoms would have just been like any other CBD in Zambia today. That's what it meant. This is why, as the United Party for National Unity, these are some of the reasons why we did not want Bill number 10.
Thank you. Lazarus, we move on to the issue of tribalism. You mentioned the people that fought for freedom, and these were young people, the likes of Kenneth Kaunda, Simon Mwansakapweko, you can mention them, and that is where we have been told, or we are told up to now, to say these people came together. They were not looking at tribe or region or province to where one was coming from, but they looked at a common goal, and that was to fight for freedom. Today, tribalism is the talk of the day among politicians and even among young people, and they have continued to champion tribalism, regionalism, and ethnicity. What do you think is making young people also to fall free and start participating in terms of championing tribalism?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kelvin. But before I come to that...
Within your 3 minutes?
Yes, within my 3 minutes. I'm happy that my brother is coming out very well from the PF, because he has mentioned that Zambians, in as much as we debate, Zambians must come first. But he is just an individual. I'm able to understand him. He might have that mind of able to think of thinking straight, but unfortunately he is in a regime which does not mean well for the people of Zambia. If Zambia must come first, we would have been seeing the president acting on certain issues. But today, even when we had the issue of gassing and mob justice, we saw the president going quiet. He went quiet by the tondolo what mentioned Musunga.
But he spoke about, thinking of setting up a commission of inquiry.
Yet, I'm coming to that. Yet, we don't need a commission of inquiry. Yet, people have already lost lives. Some people in Zambia, as we speak today, they have lost their bourgeoisies in their families as a result of gassing, as a result of mob justice. How do you feel if your relative is killed as a result of gassing or mob justice, and then you just hear that the president is setting up a commission of inquiry? That will be a joke. Today, if the PF government, allow me to talk, you at your chance.
But if you are not going to set up a commission of inquiry, whom are you going to arrest?
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. During the time of Sata, during the time of Mr. Sata, when the people of Zambia wanted to stand up for themselves, he said, if you are going to be arrested, don't consider me as the one who has sent you, but you are on your own. Today, if President Lungu can do that, we wouldn't have been seeing cadres in the streets. Today, in the PF government, it is the PF government which is supplying these hospitals with expired medicine.
But you haven't answered my question in your 3 minutes.
I'm coming to that.
Your 3 minutes is up.
I'll respond to it when you come up to that time. But I think I'm being treated unfair here. Because these people here were given time to say, let me respond to that before we move on. But I wasn't given my time.
Thank you so much, Lazarus. Mukandira, issues to do with tribalism. We've seen young people participating by, looking at people to say, okay, this is Mukandira, probably comes from this. And we've seen young people from the Patriotic Front, young people from the opposition, UPND, also championing issues of tribalism. What is it that is making young people to start dividing the country by issuing tribal maps?
My brother, to begin with, I will say it as it is. Tribalism is evil, and it should never be accepted anywhere in the corridors of power.
But young people have accepted.
Unfortunately, we have got political parties, perhaps, and mostly from the opposition, who are peddling lies. And you see, may I remind my brothers again that let us stand on truth. Very important. Let us stand on truth. And why do I say so? Why do I say so? You find a lot of lies being peddled by the opposition, media propaganda, trying to insinuate that we're trying to move with the motion of encouraging tribalism. Unfortunately, we are on record. The Republican president, Dr. Edgar Chagwalungu, is on record stating that he's the president for all Zambians.
But his people...
Devoid of the fact. Now let me tell you this. Devoid of the fact that our colleagues in the Southern Province, our colleagues in Northwestern Province, our colleagues in Central Province did not go out there in numbers to vote for us. We still took development to their areas. That simply shows that the Patriotic Front is in the forefront, ensuring that tribalism should never be tolerated at any
Even if
point.
ministers are talking about tribalism.
You see,
If
where a person...
people that you've mentioned to be a young person can stand on a podium and talk about tribalism.
You see, my brother, when a person makes an independent statement, you need not consider it as an inclusive statement. So my brother here is just from telling me to say, I may be the only one who is sane enough to remind the Zambian people that let's stick to the truth. I may be the only one who is sane enough in the Patriotic Front to say, let's do the right thing. Unfortunately, I am here in my capacity as a member of the Patriotic Front. My alterations here, obviously, should have a certain connotation to the beliefs I have in the Patriotic Front. And we are telling the nation today to say, tribalism is evil. We've never supported tribalism. At no point, the president is on record, the commander-in-chief is on record, telling the Zambian people and everyone else to say, we are not going to tolerate anyone who is going to be tribal in any manner whatsoever.
Thank you so much, Mukandira. We'll be coming back to that issue, and that you've mentioned the president. Despite the president mentioning, we've seen people are still championing tribalism, and you say those people have been, speaking at their personal, in their personal capacity. Omiya Hanganga, from the opposition has been attacked. The opposition has been seen to be propagating tribalism. Mukandira has told us the PF do not believe in tribalism.
I don't know.
Why is it that young people have also started participating in tribalism and trying to divide the nation?
I will answer you in a threefold kind of an answer. The first one is the president is on record to have said what his ministers say represent his will. Meaning that whatever Dora Syria said, whatever the other ministers have championed in terms of tribalism, because they're on record, they represent what the president is championing. We all know that the Patriotic Front government, today, they're championing tribalism because it's part of their campaign too. We've seen GBM championing tribalism in the northern side.
In his personal capacity.
In his own personal capacity.
He does not represent the party.
No, he represents the party because he's the deputy mobilization chairperson for the Patriotic Front. You see? So, Dora Syria is the Minister of Information. Do you not forget that championing tribalism in Zambia is a criminal offense? How many of these people in government, NGOs, civil societies, have called on the arrest of ministers because they've championed tribalism? How many of those have been summoned by the police? How many of those have been arrested? None. It's a campaign tool for the Patriotic Front in order to divide Zambia. This is why I love the word that my brother said. Tribalism is evil. Meaning that if these people that are championing tribalism in the Patriotic Front government, they are evil. This is why I've said the devil comes to kill, destroy at the end of the day. So why am I using that John 10:10? Because we have seen the cancer of tribalism on how it has robbed the young people today. How many of the young people have gotten a job on merit without them having the tribal lineage? How many of the Zambian people today are represented in the full cabinet ministers that are coming from other regions?
Thank you so much, Angam.
But how come you're giving me less a minute? I said I'll answer this in a threefold. I've just answered it in two.
Okay, you can go. Because I'm seeing even people are saying, I'm giving Lazarus less time,
Yes,
and I'm
so
giving you two
this
people,
tribalism, young people, in the United Party for National Development, we are a democratic party. We do not tolerate tribalism. If you look at our organizational structure of the United Party for National Development, it will tell you that UPND is a part of inclusiveness. It has included all people from the 10 regions of Zambia. That tells you a lot. And if you say that we, the young people in the United Party for National Development, we are actually embracing tribalism, no, we are not. It's a cancer. We believe in the motto of one Zambia, one nation. And this motto will still bring us together, regardless of which region we are coming from. But the Patriotic Front government today are championing the divide and rule kind of leadership because they know that they have lost popularity.
Thank you so much, Omiya. Thank you so much for your time. Lazi, let me come to you. I have seen people sending messages say I'm giving you less time. And Mukandi and Omiya are speaking a lot because I'm giving them more time. Do you want to respond on the issue of tribalism?
Yes, I want to do that.
Please.
When we talk about tribalism in Zambia, it has reached this far because most leaders in this country are spearheading that.
In DP, UPND, and
No, I'm coming to that. It is only our president who has said there is no tribalism in Zambia under Democratic Party. Because tribalism starts by you saying, this is my stronghold, that is my stronghold. Today, you will not hear Democratic Party saying, this is the stronghold of the Democratic Party. The term strongholds means, if you say this is my stronghold, meaning it's not a go area for your opponents. So if you do that, it becomes a challenge. If you want to curb tribalism, it's by making sure that there is inclusive in these tribes. It's about you who are in government sending a teacher who has learned Tonga in Southern Province to Copper Belt to teach Tonga. It is that teacher who is in Wapla Province sending him or her to Southern Province to go and teach Bemba there. And if you do that, it will become fair enough for us as a country to know a lot of tribes. Because if you say, I am this kind of a tribe and that kind of a tribe, I'll be able to stand up firm and say, I'm able to speak this language, I'm able to do that. During the time of Kaunda, he fired one of his ministers because that minister said a mass newspaper is a Tonga, Zambia Daily newspaper is a Tonga paper. Within 24 hours, that person was fired. If Mr. Lungu was serious about doing that, he would have been fighting these cases to very much fame. But today, it is the president who is even encouraging stealing. It is the same president who is encouraging corruption in this government. People might want a proof over what I've said. It is actually a president who has said, but wait, I finish my point. But if Tabalira Kumonembuto, if that person goes there and finds that there is only Imbuto, that person is going to eat Imbuto because that is the only thing that person is used to. Today, in the Auditor General report, 1.7 billion kwacha went missing. The money which was supposed to provide health care to these people who are struggling with COVID-19. When you go to Singapore, Mr. Kelvin, it is the government which has said, since these companies are not operating to the full capacity, the government will be paying workers 70% of their salaries. But in Zambia, it's all jokes like this. Even in this country, the way we are fighting tribalism and corruption, it is jokes day in, day out. I think that's all.
Thank you so much. Gentlemen, as we are winding down, when I give you signal, please, you just, abide, and so that at least we give each one a fair time to respond. Mukandi, let's come to the issue of corruption. Okay, the opposition has been pointing fingers at the ruling party to say you are corrupt. And the president has said provide evidence. And we haven't seen evidence. We have seen ministers being prosecuted and being acquitted. Do you believe that the opposition are being fair by saying the PF is corrupt, or is there corruption in PF government?
You see, my brother, I think I need to remind my brothers again. Patriotism, very important. We need to remember that. It is about Zambia. It is not about any political party at the end of the day. Part 2 of the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia has provided for national values, principles, and economic policies. When you read Article 8, A and B, A talks about morality and ethics. B talks about patriotism and national unity. And the president is on record ensuring that we remind ourselves of these national values. Unfortunately, my brothers talking about individuals, bringing in names of individuals who may not be here to defend themselves, such as Honorable Dora and Honorable GBM. Well, that is something under, but well, that is something under the table, but they are not here to defend themselves. Yeah. So my brother mentioned the Auditor General's report. Well, misappropriation does not mean that the money is missing. Probably we need to go back to definitions. Very important. Misappropriation does not entail that money is missing. It simply means it's been misused, or the money which was meant for a certain purpose has been used for another purpose. Very important to note. So going back to what you...
My question.
Yes.
Give him the question again. He's
I pose a question.
Pose
The question is, the opposition has
because he wants to defend.
Has been pointing fingers at the PF to say you are corrupt.
Yeah.
Well,
the president said provide evidence.
About corruption, you see.
And do you think they are being fair by saying you are corrupt? Is there corruption in PF government?
I always refer my submissions to the supreme law of the land, the Constitution. Part 3 of the Constitution has provided for the Bill of Rights. And in the Bill of Rights, it said that under Article 18.2a, has provided that a person is innocent until proven guilty by a competent court of law. Now, in an event where you bring in an allegation of corruption, provide proof. It's as simple as that. Yes. Now, we've got institutions that are entrusted with the mandate of fighting corruption and ensuring that they bring to book and prosecute people who have got allegations that purports to have a bit of some meat of corruption. And that is the Anti-Corruption Commission. They do their job. If they do not have enough evidence, the case fails. If there is no allegation of corruption, the person will be acquitted. It's as simple as that. Now, should we say the corruption is within the party or is in the government? I'm going to be very categorical and very blunt, my brother. I will say corruption actually begins with the public out there. Unfortunately.
Is there corruption in Zambia? Yes,
corruption is there. Whether we like it or not, you put the only time, like Mugabe said, in Africa, the only time corruption will end is when we are going to say a black shirt and a white shirt will be put in one dish, you wash them. Then that's the only time corruption will end, and they should come. But what I'm going to tell you is corruption is not only in government. Corruption is a cancer which we need to fight, even outside.
Thank you.
Even from the opposition members of parliament.
Thank you so much. Omiya, corruption is in Zambia. According to Mkandira, we have it in Zambia. We need to fight it. It's a cancer. Even in the opposition members of parliament, they are also corrupt. We need to fight corruption.
I don't know if when you say the opposition members of parliament, they are corrupt. I don't know when, how, which resources they actually store, or the ones that they got that do not belong to them. I don't know about that. Because they're in opposition. They don't handle such. But we all know that from the time the Patriotic Party took over government, it's the most corrupt government that has ever ruled Zambia today.
Do we have proof?
Let's talk about the Auditor General's reports. How much money we've been losing?
Mismanaged.
Mismanaged.
No, not stolen.
Come on. We all know that these monies, whether it's been even in a home, if you mismanage funds for food, what is that? What does that mean? It's either one of your children has done what? Has stolen. So much
it may not always be the case.
No, it may not always be
A
the
mismanagement
case,
may entail that a man is a drunkard. He goes and squanbles all the money in the house.
In fact, you've used the right term. Yeah. If the head of state is a what? I don't want to mention his word. Then you have these juniors that have said, "Ola munyumba dadi." Take an example of munyumba chifokolo. Take wako nchakolo. Imwe vibana mona dadi apa bamuka. Nikusta bwanji. Simu magwira kugira pa wale. Maana ukatendana bandalama. Dadi mnapona maybe kuba mambo nyewe unachie mtu.
We may need to be reminded of what government is.
Let me finish my point.
Very important.
We all know that the Patriotic Front government is the most corrupt government today. We are looking at the Auditor General's report for 2018. How much money has been missed? 1.7 billion.
Misappropriated.
Misappropriated. It has gone.
It's also possible the money is there.
2018, how much money was misappropriated? And the 2018 report also showed us that much of the money was also used in terrorism. So meaning that we're not just talking about an aspect of corruption, but we're dealing with a militia. These are militias.
Thank you. Lazarus, Mukandiras, in his submission, said corruption is not just happening in PF or in government, but corruption is in Zambia, and we need to fight it. Even the people from the opposition are also corrupt. So corruption is in Zambia. We need to fight it together because it is a cancer.
Yes, because the PF themselves are in Zambia, so it is in Zambia. The only way we can
they are Zambians.
The only way we can be able
They're
to
thinking about their
the
pennies.
only way we can be able to make sure that we reduce corruption or we make sure that we get rid of this corruption is by removing the PF government from power. So when you talk about the same corruption you are talking about, my brother here shouldn't be able to discredit the credibility of institutions that have been proposed on dealing with these issues. We have got the Financial Intelligence Center, which is the FIC. FIC report of 2018-2019 released the report on how this corrupt government has been. Not only that, it has also made it clear that there has been sponsoring of terrorism. Now, if this can be the case, if they can sponsor terrorism outside the country, what about in Zambia? It means me as a person, I cannot be safe. Just recently, that was last week on Thursday, we went for registration. My president, Mr. Adi Kalaba, was registering. When he was doing that, just after he went, the PF cadres were on us. But they found us there. We were strong enough to kick them. But when that happened...
You've seen where the violence comes from.
No. My brother, don't be able to act like you don't know what you are saying here. When you talk
they are happily talking about
and by the way, I gave you chance to talk. Allow me to finish what I'm saying because you are disturbing me.
You kicked.
They defended themselves.
You kicked them.
But you kicked people.
Which one? The people.
You kicked
those people.
You kicked
the militias.
It was even led by the Kanyama constituency.
But you kicked people.
Which one? The PF government.
You kicked people.
We did that. They went running.
Thank you.
But, no, I'm not yet done. So this PF government, if we leave them like that, this thing will continue day in and day out. Because we are not happy about all this. Then my brother here coming here and saying, no, these funds were just misappropriated. But he also said, no, they were mismanaged. The mismanagement also means instead of you making sure that you pay the debt, you are pocketing that money. That is part of mismanagement. That thing which my brother is also saying that, the opposition have been corrupt and the like. I will agree with him. Because the UPND have got the people they call the Judah Iscariot who betrayed them on Bill 10. If they can betray them when they are in opposition, what will happen if they go into power? There will be a lot of betrayal even to the people of Zambia, and the only chance which the people of Zambia have is by making sure that they usher in a credible government.
Thank you so much. Gentlemen, we have to conclude. We have to end the program. But let me just give 2 minutes to each. Mukandira, issues to do with voter registration, your encouragement to young people.
Well, I'm going to encourage each and every person out there of the age to ensure that they go and stand on those queues. Let's stand on those queues and ensure that we register to vote. Very important. And that is the only weapon we have to ensure that members of parliament who are sent to parliament and they don't go and do their job, they don't go and debate, are kicked out of parliament. It's as simple as that. That is the only tool we have to ensure that the lies that are being brought to the fore of the House, the lies that are being brought by any other person who's a politician. For example, a person will come and tell you that a president is not eligible, but there is a constitutional court ruling that has provided that the president is eligible. The lies that are there. Let us ensure that we register to vote and ensure that come 20th, is it the 12th of August 2021, we vote for the Patriotic Front political party to ensure that the truth is what should remain plain.
Thank you so much. Omiya Hanganga, voter registration, your encouragement to young people.
You see, I want to encourage the young people out there that, you see, the only weapon that you have in order to bring the change that you much desire on the type of government that you have is a voter's card. So I want to encourage the young people out there that please let us brave the lines. Let us ensure that you get your voter's card, and let us ensure that we vote for United Party for National Development and its leader Hakainde Hichilema, who has actually promised a better Zambia for all, a better living for all. And he has promised Zambians that he will fix the economy. It is the time for change where we need to get rid of this corrupt government. It is
Without
time
evidence.
to ensure that we remove these so-called militias from stations, the violence that has escalated in Zambia today. The only thing that we can use as Zambians is a ballot, and that is the voters' card.
Thank you so much. Lazarus, DP, your encouragement or message of encouragement to the young people in regards to voter registration?
I will not encourage the young people. I will encourage the Zambians, because at the end of the day, it's not only the young people watching me, it is the people of Zambia. The people of Zambia need to realize that there is no change minus them seeking it. And we have to make it clear, Zambian people are not fools. They are correct people. They are able to reason very well. The UPND government have said they are going to
The
fix
UPND
economy.
government?
I'm coming. The UPND are political party, or the UPND, when they come into power, that's what they are saying. They are going to fix the economy. They haven't told us how they are going to do
They
that.
don't have a solution.
And no, my brother, you are your time, let me talk.
As we conclude.
So, yes, I'm concluding. So these people need to be explaining to the people of Zambia how they are supposed to do things.
Okay.
We have taught the people how we are going to industrialize this nation. We are going to make sure that there is industry in Lusaka, there's an industry in Copper Belt. When these industries will be producing these goods and services, we are going to make sure that we are exporting them. When we export them, we are going to have enough dollar reserves and enough foreign currency reserves in the banks. When you do that, $2 rate will reduce. But the other political party leaders, they only say quarter will reduce. They haven't explained.
Thank you so much.
And wait.
2 minutes.
Have you seen my director?
It is well. But the people of Zambia have chance to make sure that they usher in a credible government, and the Democratic Party is the party. The only way you can do that is by getting the weapon which is stronger than a pistol, stronger than a machine gun, and that is the voter's card. And how you usher your vote, it will be dependent on you. But think twice when doing that.
Thank you so much. This has been the Fearless Debate on your channel of choice, Movie Television, with me, Kelvin Dabula, Chief Focal. Many thanks to Omiya Hanganga from the United Party for National Development, Mukandila from the Patriot Front, and Lazarous Simukoko from the DP. Many thanks also to Mavuto Piri, director as well as a producer, Obvious Kapundo on the camera, and William Mwenge on transmission. Until we meet next week, if this is when you've just joined us, wasangana today. Good night.
Good night.
This is Zambia, Christian nation. Yeah, yeah. Give us, you give us. This is Zambia, the home of copper.
Akaito? Ndi ija kuti nkhani tichite monga menena kambira. Koma manje ndi mene mungavalire mentendera ku wedding show. Kukafikira munthu show tinde so.
Lomba mwe apite kuvala volati. Lomba mwe mukosi mumulitiani mwa.
Nochenjera.
Apiri amuna wanga majaketi achitosankapo chabe.
Ai.
Osati mongai mwati mnaimozi na imozi
Kusiyana chabe kwa zinchito. Kusiyana kwa zinchito kairi majaketi yao mvambire kurusaka mvambire.
Lomba mwe apite jacket. Not kurusaka. Wani mwa mkwatibwika? Lomba mwe yona mukosi anusiyana ka ishtate.
Iyo ngani